Layers are one of the most important skills you need to master to take your image editing with Photoshop Elements to the next level. My name's Ken Fisher and this is LiveLink Training. Now, layers are really a powerhouse feature of Photoshop Elements that you need to understand. So in this introduction it's going to be very simple, but I'm going to just try and get you into the mindset of layers. Now we've got some layers dialog box that you can get by clicking on layers here. That takes it away. If you click it again it brings it back. And at the moment we've got no layers. But we're going to start from scratch in Elements with no documents open, and here I am in expert mode. Now I'm going to create a new blank document. I'm going to do that by going to File and New and Blank File, or I can use the keyboard shortcut of Command and N on a Mac or Control and N if you're on a PC. I'm going to click that and it's going to ask me what I want to do, and I'm going to leave that at default. Yeah, a width of 6, height before, 300 resolution, that looks good to me, and I'll click OK and it creates a new document for me. Now when you open any documents they'll appear here in the taskbar at the bottom. This is the photo bin where the images live. Now any document that you create or open, especially images from your camera, are always going to have at least one layer. And here it is, that's the layer in the layers panel now because we've created one. And that layer typically is called background layer. Now this background layer has a couple of unique properties. It always has to be the bottom layer and it's got a little padlock on so you can't put anything underneath it. And in addition to this it can't contain any transparent pixels. Now let's have a look at using the custom shape tool to do a little bit of a demonstration. Now here it is, and I'll click and hold it, and what you can see then down here is the tool options bar for that tool, and here you can see we've got lots of different shapes that we can have. Let's start with the rectangle tool. So I'll click on the rectangle tool. We've got a color picker here, so I'll click on that and I'll select red. And then I'll move into the image and I'll click and drag out a square. Now if you look in the layers panel now, you can see that we've got another layer. Now it's been given the name of shape 1. Now that's not particularly useful. It's always a good habit to get into to rename your layers to something more meaningful. So to do this, just double click on the word, so on the name shape 1, and it'll open up a little dialog for you, and I'll call this rectangle. And I'll click OK or hit the return key. Now we can see now we've got two layers, so wherever there are pixels on this layer at the top, which is this layer, you can see the red. Anywhere else there's this like checkerboard, and that's transparency. That's like a piece of cellophane that you can see through, so you can see straight through around here, straight to the white of the layer underneath it on the background layer. But anywhere where there's pixels, like we've drawn these red pixels here, you see the pixels first. Now one thing with layers is you can make them visible or invisible, and you do that with these little visibility eyes. So if I now click on that little eye, it turns off the visibility of the layer. It's not deleted it, it's just turned off its visibility. And if I click, I can bring the visibility back again. Now what you need to do is think about your eye being up here looking straight down, and this is what you see. So you've basically got a red square on a piece of cellophane that you can see straight through, and you can see straight through to the layer underneath it, which is the white background. So let's have another shape now. So we'll create another layer. So I can do that by going up here to the new layer icon, which is this one, and if I click on it, it will create me another layer. And what I can do then is go on to my shape tool and I'll select an ellipse, and I'll select green this time. Let's have a green one, and then I'll click and I'll drag and I'll let it go. And now you can see I've got two layers. So I've got a red square and I've got a green circle or an ellipse, and each of them I can turn them on and off with the visibility eyes. But you'll notice that the shape one layer, well, I'll tell you what, let's call that as an ellipse. Yeah, that's a bit better. So the ellipse layer is above the rectangle, so anywhere you can see the green from the ellipse, you can't see the rectangle because it's underneath it. Right, let's create another one. So we'll go this time for a star. This time we'll make it blue, so we'll add another layer. Again, up to the layers pattern, the new layer icon there, we'll make another layer and we'll call this star. We can rename it first or later, doesn't matter. And then we'll go down to the star, which we've already selected, and we'll choose a blue. And we'll click and drag again to make the star, and we'll let go. Now we can see we've got 3 layers. We've got a star layer, an ellipse layer, and a rectangle layer. Now again, looking from the top, you can see the star layer first. So wherever you see the star, you can't see the green, and wherever you see the star, you can't see the red of the rectangle. Now stacking order can be important, because at the moment the star is on top of the stack. Now we can actually change the stacking order, but for that we need the move tool. So we've either got to go over here and click, or we can press V on the keyboard to get the move tool. And now I can either go into the actual document itself, and I can click and drag to move these independently around the interface like that. Or if I wanted the star layer to be underneath the green but above the red, then what I could do is change its position in the stack. So I can click on the star layer, and then I can click and drag it, and as I drag it you'll see a little double line appear under the ellipse layer, and when that happens it means it's going to open up and let me put the star layer there. So now the star layer is underneath the green layer, so we can only see a part of the star layer because it's obscured by the green, but the star layer is above the red layer. Now if I want the star layer to go to the bottom of the stack, then I can click and drag it and drop it underneath. So now it's actually underneath the green and it's underneath the red as well. Now if I wanted to, I could move more than one of these at the same time. And I do that by selecting them all in the layer stack. So again, I've got the star layer selected. So if I hold the shift key down and click the ellipse layer, that's all 3 of them now selected. I've still got my move tool selected, but now when I click and drag, I move them all at the same time because they're all selected. Now to deselect all the layers, just click on a layer that is not selected. Whoops, click cancel. Just click on that background layer and all the layers are deselected, and now I can move them individually again. Well, that's it, a brief introduction to layers and how they work. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment under the video. Don't forget, if you're a fan of the printed page, there is an ebook that you can get. Just check the more section under the video on YouTube and click on the link and you can download it. If you like what I do, please click on that subscribe button and help me to grow my Photoshop learning community. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.